Hi everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be reviewing a brand new Charlotte Tilbury product, and this is going to be the Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer. Charlotte Tilbury just released this concealer last week, so I went to the store and picked this up so we could review this and tell you if this is going to be worth the price tag, because Charlotte Tilbury products are not cheap. So if you want to see my thoughts on this Charlotte Tilbury concealer and find out if it's worth the price tag, then please keep watching. So Charlotte Tilbury has had a variety of concealers in the past. They had a full coverage magic concealer, but I think that one has been discontinued. They also launched their beautiful skin concealer, which is more of a lighter option, and I haven't actually tried that concealer. So you can imagine my excitement when I found out that they were releasing a full coverage concealer. Currently, I use the Tarte Shape Tape. I have the Shape Tape Radiant and the Shape Tape Creamy. I do prefer the Creamy. I bought this on accident. I thought I was buying the Creamy, but it was the Radiant version. And this formula I do like. The shade is too light for me, so I never really end up liking how it looks. So this Charlotte Tilbury concealer came at the perfect time. And right here we have the Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer. This is what the packaging looks like. It's very reminiscent of the Airbrush Flawless Foundation, which I currently don't have in my collection, but I used to have that foundation and I really like it. However, I haven't tried the reformulated versions. And then on the back, it just says Airbrush Concealer. I do really like the packaging. It is also not entirely round. It is kind of like more oval shaped, if that makes sense. Now, this concealer comes with 8.3 grams of product. In comparison, the Shape Tape comes with 10 milliliters of product, and this retails for 38 euros and I believe $36. I'm not entirely sure, so it is definitely more of a pricey concealer, especially if we compare it to like the Tarte Shape Tape. But of course, Charlotte Tilbury is a more luxury brand, so their products do have a higher price tag. So right here we have the concealer, and as you can see, we have a bit of a pointy doe foot applicator. It is also quite a bit applicator, but I do really like that. It's going to be really easy to apply under the eyes. Now, in terms of the shade, I always find this a little bit difficult. I usually like my concealer to be a little bit more brightening, but the Shape Tape is too light for me. I have this in the shade 20S Light Sand, and it just doesn't look good because it is so full coverage. I went on their shape match tool on the website, and the Charlotte Tilbury website matched me with the shade 4.5, which I went in the store and I thought it was maybe a little bit too deep. I'm usually 3 neutral in the Airbrush Flawless Foundation, and I swatched 4.5 in the concealer next to the foundation, and it just looked a tiny bit too deep. I ended up picking this one up in the shade 3.5, and 3.5 is described as a neutral to warm undertone, which is what I'm usually looking for in a concealer. So on the Charlotte Tilbury website, they are describing this concealer as a light as air full coverage concealer with elastic stretch and up to 24 hours creaseless wear. Now, I do highly doubt whether this is going to be creaseless for 24 hours. I don't think I ever experienced a concealer that did not crease at all, because you do just generally have fine lines under your eyes where the concealer is naturally going to go in those lines. And also, I wonder if anyone's going to be testing this out for 24 hours to begin with. I'm not going to wear this for 24 hours, but I am going to apply this and show you what it looks like and everything. So I think we should just get started with the application. So I've just moved myself a little bit closer to the camera so we can truly see what this looks like. I do have really dry lips and a tiny cold sore, so I hope it's not too noticeable. So currently I'm only wearing the Milk Skin Tint. I do have a big window right here next to me, so this side of my face is going to be a little bit brighter than this side of my face. And apply this under the eyes. I'm going to be starting off with a tiny amount, and I'm just blending that out with my Charlotte Tilbury foundation brush. So as you can see, that is giving pretty good coverage. I did have some dark circles under the eyes, but it did really cover that up quite well. So I'm just tapping this in so it doesn't really move. And this side doesn't have concealer, and this does have concealer. I feel like it is quite blurring, and the coverage is really good. I think I applied a little bit too much here, so let's just take the other side to kind of blend that a little bit. Definitely took a bit too much, so we're just going to work with that. So that is what the concealer is looking like under my eyes. As you can see, definitely brightened a bit. I'm glad I went with this shade. I feel like it is kind of like a good shade match, and it brightens like a tiny bit. And I really like the finish of this. I feel like it looks a little bit blurring as well. This is what it's looking like. I am just going to do the rest of my makeup right now, and then I'll be back. I'm not going to set the concealer so we can kind of see how it moves throughout the rest of my makeup routine as well. So I'll be back in a second to show you the finished look. So I've just done the rest of my makeup look and I want to show you what this looks like up close. I see a little bit of creasing. You can see right here in the fine lines, the concealer has creased a little bit here as well, but I haven't set it. So on its own, it's definitely not creaseless, at least for me. So I am just applying a little bit of setting powder right there. So I just did the rest of my makeup look and we have the concealer on the under eyes. I really like what this concealer does for me. I feel like it is the perfect amount of coverage for me. It's full coverage, but it's not looking dry or cakey or anything. I even forgot my moisturizer today and it doesn't look bad or anything under my eyes. So in terms of the coverage, I really like this product. I also really like the finish of it. I think it gives kind of like that blurred look and it's definitely getting a thumbs up for me. I don't really like it when a brand kind of does like unrealistic claims. For this concealer, they're saying specifically this has a 24 hours of creaseless wear. And to be honest, I don't know why they would say something like that because it just sounds so unrealistic. And as we could see, it creased after like 5 minutes already in my under eyes, which is completely fine. I've never experienced a concealer that doesn't do that for me. So it's not something that's going to give this like a negative review. And so that's my personal opinion. I would recommend this concealer. I think if you're looking for a nice full coverage concealer, this won't disappoint. I will have this linked down below in case you're looking to pick this up. I would love to know in the comment section down below what you think of this concealer. I would also know if you have tried this already. If you did enjoy this video, I would absolutely love it if you gave it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe or turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss any of my videos. All of these things would help me so much with my channel and I'd really appreciate it. But with that said, I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I really hope you have an amazing day and I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye!